Very warm welcome to all of you. Thanks to our speakers. We were discussing about the topic which is for today's webinar, and we had some resistance from some industry players, and we had some difficult time in finding the speakers because the topic was it's a hot topic, as well as the topic is going to bother the HR fraternity at large in the coming time. And that's where we had to curate the speakers and get the speakers to all of you. Thanks to Dr. Vishwanath, who was the first one who said yes, that I will, it will be my pleasure to talk about this topic. And then Sowmya, Vinod, and Sujay joined. I have my colleague Alapini.
Sowmya sitting at her custom place.
Sorry.
ये द्विवेदी को देखा क्या? Hello, hello.
Zoe, yeah.
So Alapini would like to introduce the speakers to the audiences. Alapini,
Sure.
You will have the mic with you.
So good evening, all of you. HRI panel is really grateful to all of you, and especially to have such a diverse and esteemed panel with us. Thank you, all of you, and all the audience who's joined with us. So I take the privilege to introduce our speaker, one of our panelists, Dr. Vishwanath Joshi. So Sir is the Chief People's Officer at Hexaware. He has 20+ years of experience with top global IT consulting firms, and he's led the practice of OD in a couple of organizations. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Next, I would like to introduce Sowmya Sathosh. Ma'am leads the as a head HR at Citius Tech. He too has a gamut of experience in terms of change management, OD, and various other functions at Citius Tech. Ma'am, glad to have you on the panel as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce Sujay Puthran. Sir leads HR for Atos, and he has a wide experience of 26 years, and also the expert in HCM. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We have Vinod with us. Vinod is CHRO for Financial Software and Systems Limited. Sir has also been an expert in change management, and he is a design thinker with 25 years of wide experience. I must say the panel is wide, and I'm sure the audience is going to have a very enlightening session. Thank you, all of you, and over to you, Pravin.
Yeah, thank you, LP. About HR Infotech Association, I just would like to say a few words. HRI is a 25-year-old association of HR professionals. It is a non-profit association. This year, we celebrated 25th anniversary of HR Infotech Association. This association, you can say, it is truly for HR professionals, made by HR professionals, and for the benefit of HR professionals. And we keep on taking current affairs questions, topics to our members. This association is specifically for HR professionals working in IT and ITS sector. We have two chapters, one in Mumbai and one in Pune. The association works on the similar lines like Rotary International. We have a managing committee which takes care of the yearly affair of that particular year. The committee is headed by the president, and then president has a associate vice president and vice president. Vice president is a secretary who is going to be incoming president for the next year, and a treasurer who is an associate vice president. And then they have a directors who are from the various segment of the industry. So this is what about HR Infotech Association. We are glad to have you all for this particular session. As the session covers a large section. Hello. Right from global economy, various business scenarios, emerging business scenarios, the effect of the pandemic on our daily lives to business community, the shift of labor from the big cities to their small towns, the inflow of investment which we are expecting now to come in India. Few of the organizations have taken extreme measures of laying off the employees or reducing salaries. Then the work from home and the new normal that we are expecting. Considering these scenarios, I would request the panelists to give their opening remarks, maybe for 4 or 5 minutes, and then we will start the discussion, starting with Dr. Joshi, if you can give your opening remarks.
Sure, Pravin. And thank you so much for the opportunity. In fact, I'm privileged to be a part of this association. And of course, now I realize with so many of you on this forum, I have a lot to learn from each one of you. So it's my privilege to be with all of you. As the introduction says, I am a part of the Hexaware Technologies HR team. I have the opportunity to lead this team. And I came into this role about a year back. So I came into Hexaware last October, formally took over this role in Jan. And then, of course, from March, life changed.
Yeah.
Last 10 years, literally speaking, I was not in a generalist HR role at all.
Okay.
I quit corporate almost about 10 years back. After that, I was in training, teaching, research, consulting, including my PhD journey. And when I came back, and it was not meant to be, it just happened. So I took it up and moved from consulting back to corporate with this opportunity. And when I now look back at last 1 year, and I'll focus my experience in this talk based on last 1 year, what I really see is very interesting. I have always learned, and I have taught leaders that crisis is an opportunity. And when it actually happened a few months back, and everybody kind of scrambling around to see what needs to be done, because nobody had answers to any questions. Nobody had projected this, of course. Nobody is still able to say what's going to happen in the new normal. But here is what, when I reflect back, I think, and I'll try and put it in a small capsule because it's a short conversation. When I see all this happening and how it gets to me in this role that I play, I see that barring first maybe a month and a half, where people were kind of figuring out what to do, what's happening, just to understand the change context better. But after that, when I look at this, of course, virus is not a good thing, all the life loss that it has caused. But keeping that aside, let me focus on the organizational context. I see this in terms of an opportunity. That is how, even at Hexaware, we are trying to position this internally in our thought process, in how we are responding to the situation. And if I put that together, I see that it's an opportunity to really set, define, redraft, recreate, 3 E's. E for elephant, and I'm saying 3 E's. And that's really what we are focusing on in this opportunity. One is reset expectations. I think it's very important that all of
Yeah.
us understand that this new normal is going to have new expectations, okay, on both sides, organizational side as well as employee side. Second, opportunity to create experiences, because that is exactly what people are going to remember. They are not going to remember all this data and the statistics. They are going to remember what kind of experiences you create for them in this changed environment. Yeah. And the third very important key, as I see it, and so much is being talked about and focused on, is to set right our ergonomics. And by ergonomics, I actually mean health, well-being, the safety and the security, of course, working from home and all the challenges it has brought, including, for example, how are you really able to give 120% productivity without affecting your health? So I see this in my role from where I am looking at this opportunity, and the way at Hexaware, I'm kind of getting everybody else to look at this opportunity is in terms of these 3 E's: expectations, reset expectations; second, create experiences that will matter; and third is to focus on ergonomics. It's just the ways of working. So that's how I will begin looking at this entire topic.
Okay. Thank you. Those 3 E's are certainly going to drive the organizations per se and people's life in the coming days. Definitely. Moving to Sowmya. Sowmya, would you like to give?
Absolutely. Good evening, first of all, to everybody who's listening in. Thank you so much for making me part of this wonderful session. And I'm here to learn, listen to all the esteemed panel, and obviously there'll be a lot of learning, I'm sure. I come from a company called Citius Tech. We're into the healthcare space. And of course, getting into this particular COVID situation, people told us you're in healthcare. This is something to do with, all hospitals and ailments. And so you guys should be covered, right? So this is the myth that everybody had, and which is not true. If you actually see, there are hospitals, one of our biggest clients in the US, their billing went down by 90%, right?
Oh.
Because people did not want to go to the hospitals. People were scared they will, contract these virus. So hospitals don't make money from the emergency services, or they don't make money from any of the COVID cases that go there. They actually make money from actually planned surgeries and planned treatment. So anybody who wanted a knee replacement or something, they postponed the whole thing, right? So as Rizwan, our CEO, always keeps telling, you can postpone everything, but health is one thing you can postpone only to a limit. So we had some hope that yes, the situation will get better. But we saw a lot of employees being, let go. There was this clients letting go of downsizing. There were discounts that were being asked. So it was like a very troubled start when we started. And we did take decisions. Should we actually, completely stop recruitment? We had a huge bench, which we were not used to. We're a very mid-sized organization. We're around 3,500 or 4,000 in strength. So should we just let go of everybody on the bench, or what do we do? So these were the questions. We had so many people we had given an offer to. Should we just call and tell that we're going to roll back the offers? But after looking at deliberating it and looking at it from holistic way, we said that yes, our fundamental importance is just to protect our existing employees to existing business, but we don't want to take any kind of a draconian measure. We will take probably little steps and little measures, and those measures in a structured manner will help us through. And that's what I think as an organization we did. And here we are, I think, sailing pretty well through the situation and doing well. So that's a little bit from Citius Tech.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Sujay, would you like to share your remarks?
Yeah, thank you. Well, I think, when I look at the overall industry situation in India, compared to any other industry, I think, ITS, in a way, we've been lucky that, we were quickly able to scramble and manage to keep our businesses running, right? And I think while our customers were, like, how Sowmya was saying, right, all of our customers were severely impacted, but they could depend on us to keep their critical businesses running. I think, the ability, that's India's IT industry's ability to quickly adapt, the support from the government, the way we have adjusted, I think this has given huge confidence to our customers to continue their belief in our capabilities, and then that will lead to investments as we go on. And I think this will be a huge positive for our industry as we start emerging out of the pandemic situation. Even I think we started seeing some green shoots of recovery. Some of our peers are posting, in fact, they're talking about huge deals coming our way and posting recovery. I think Q1 of next year, we'll see a huge recovery. So I think that would be good for us. There will be a huge push from our customers for optimization, which will lead to offshoring. There will be push for digital transformation projects at our customer end, which will obviously have an impact on for all of us. But the key thing, I think, would be our readiness as an industry. Now, this even began before the whole COVID situation, right? The disruption in our space with digital technologies and AI is real. That's not going to go away. In fact, it's going to be more focus on that. So how prepared are we as an industry with newer capabilities, newer skills? I think it's going to be key for us. So our focus while we manage all this, and I think we have done very, very well, will be to look at how we can help our organization as HR, how we'll help our organization and our employees to be ready for the future.
Yeah.
So
so being ready for the future is the key.
Yeah.
The moment, indeed. Thanks, Sujay. Vinod, please give your opening thoughts.
Yeah, Pravin.
Hi.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for giving me the platform to express my views. And kind of in a pandemic situation, it's not just the, my views as a panel member matters, but I think I've come here more, there would be a lot of Q&As, so there could be a good learning opportunity. So we are together in this next one and a half hours in terms of learning how do we handle this kind of a global, different kind of situation.
Yeah.
Q1, if my numbers are, if my memory is right, I think the GDP shrunk by 23.1%, if I'm right, and then Q2 is kind of much better. And I've seen the earnings of several companies, not just IT, as Sujay says, much better position, but even the financial institutions and banks reporting much better earnings, not just on a sequential basis, but even on a Y-on-Y basis. So I think there is certainly green shoots, looking at what we have experienced in Q2. And we have seen recession, I wouldn't call it kind of a recession, but I do not know what to call it, but it's not recession kind of thing still. But
slow down, maybe.
Yeah, slow down. We have seen, 14 global recessions in the last 150 odd years, actually. So past global recessions have all been the resultant of a war, oil price, or fiscal policies, not a kind of a pandemic what we are kind of. So, in 2008 financial crisis, if my memory serves right, I think the stimulus was 4% of the GDP. I think the speed of decision is what makes we're able to see the green shots currently. Around 11 to 14% of stimulus on 14% of GDP. So the new order, I'm not sure whether it is a myth or reality, but 9 months into one of the most challenging years in business history. And I think I should congratulate all the HR leaders out here in this forum. 11th month and 9 months of lockdown. Yes, 9 months of lockdown. This is the newborn reality. And
so we delivered.
Yeah, we are delivered. That's what I'm saying. This is the newborn reality. It's clear to me that the changes, the pandemic precipitated in the workplace are kind of here to stay, without pandemic actually, The Gartner research shows that the pandemic sector is also one of the top concern for the executives. So I couldn't, Pravin, imagine that we would be discussing a global economy or India's turnaround and labor work from home on a digital conference, spanning over 60 or 90 odd minutes. So everything is a priority for everyone. So we have clarity where macro and microeconomic parameters and mankind is assuming kind of a larger than pandemic role. So by saying that, we are a new normal, so the question in my mind is, by saying that we are in the new normal, are we expecting that the old order or a pattern to repeat again? So I don't think so, right? But that's the reality. The reality is different. The new order we have stepped into is going to help to redefine everything, our business, management tenants, our community, our focus, and according to what I read just a couple of days back, according to CNBC, Google will test a hybrid work from home model wherein employees won't be required to return to the office full time at all. And this comes in the wake of a report showing 62% of the employees want to return to office, though not permanently. So the new realities which we are already into is about, as Vish was saying, it's about tremendous possibilities and abundance actually. So we are presented with innumerable possibilities. It's for us to craft our future, correct our past, and do this both while comprehending the present reality. So, basically, like 3 E's, what Vish presented, I call it, my acronym is CAT actually. So 3 keys for remote work from a management standpoint, the 3 ingredients to shifting to a remote work are, you need to have absolute clarity. You need to have a lot of communication to the employees on.
Okay.
And there should be a complete alignment to the purpose of the organization. And there should be a radical trust. I call it trust actually. So that's why I call it clarity, alignment, and trust are the key 3 ingredients which we have to look for in this new reality which we are into.
So, that's really good. CAT acronym goes with the 3 E's. I just wanted to humorously quote when you mentioned about delivered. Some CHROs delivered or delivering in a normal manner. Some had to go for C-section by cutting down certain aspects with respect to the cost. So that's the way we are selling through.
As long as you deliver the baby, it's fine actually.
Right. Coming to the topic that we have after your opening remarks, my request to all the panelists, if since we all are from IT and ITS space, let's stick to the examples or while quoting, cover as much as the IT and ITS space, so that the audiences who are from the IT ITS sector can relate with what you are saying. My question to Sowmya, as a CHRO at Citius Tech, when you mentioned the initial phase was troublesome and now it is little ease, what kind of specific initiatives that your organization has taken, and as a CHRO you initiated at your organization, and which are showing the results now?
I think we did a bunch of them, it was not small little things. Like first thing first, we wanted to just ensure that everybody goes back home and starts working, and just to ensure that there's a very quick ease of them to go and pick up what they want. We just gave them 10K and said, just go ahead and reimburse whatever you want in that amount for, purchase of official things. Otherwise, there was no approval required, no nothing required. People, as which said there was an ergonomic problem. So we just said that we get very discounted rates of furniture, and you guys go ahead and can order it, and the furnitures were delivered to their house. So there was very little small things like that. And in addition to that, we said health and safety was very important. So we tied up with a lot of hospitals, so that we created a group called the Emergency Response Group. We tied up with hospitals. Employees could reach out to that group, and then we would ensure, we provided the support during this COVID crisis. We also introduced insurance of 5 lakhs for COVID insurance, which was very, very well received from employees. And we gave that insurance, which they could pick up for their family at a very discounted rate. And I can just go on with a whole lot of initiatives like that, which said, and Vinod mentioned one thing which is like very dear to our heart, right? Communication. I think that's like the bedrock of Citius Tech. I think a lot of emphasis for that, and then we've done I think a bunch of stuff on that area. So these all put together, actually has helped us.
So all slow doses are working fine. I mean, it's not one large dose that you have given.
Absolutely.
Boosters,
Absolutely.
boosters are working.
Small little boosters are working.
What about you, Dr. Joshi? Since you joined and then immediately you had to face this at Hexaware,
Yes.
how was the challenge?
And I remember when we knew that this is almost going to be a way of life, we had this whole management meet and we kind of arrived at some things we are going to do. There were some things on customer side, some things on financial management, some things on infrastructure, technology, moving people, work from home. And after we finished this meeting, I remember my boss, who's the CEO, called me separately and he said, Vish, the most important role in this whole thing is going to be your role. And that actually gave me confidence, Pravin, that that as an organization, we are ready to show that we care. And I think if anybody asks me, even on my deathbed, about this experience, I will still vouch that what was most critical in this whole thing, and which Sowmya also talked about through her initiatives at Citius Tech, we pretty much did almost all of them in some measure or the other. But I think the expectation that was laid out was very clear that this is not time to talk about care, it is time to show that we care. And how do you do that is really what all the initiatives were. But I must share with this forum one initiative that I personally believe made a huge impact on enabling people to really accept the reality and continue to do their best. And that's a program that we started called Leadership Lantern Series. So it's like a lantern, right? I mean, we're not in a position to put up the whole jing bang lighting, but we said we will do small doses of this, showing the lantern to our people. And we called it Leadership Lantern. On an average.
And anyway, sir, lantern is very relevant right now.
Yes,
lantern का ही सब बात हो रही है.
बिल्कुल. हम सूरज तो नहीं बन सकते, लेकिन दिया तो बन सकते हैं. So, so Leadership Lantern series was nothing but very focused, well-designed, small nuggets of leadership communication. And I was zapped when we first did it. And we were very clear about what the theme is. And later on, the themes evolved. So first we wanted to tell our people, how are we coping with operations? So I got my chief operating officer to be a part of the Leadership Lantern series. He had more than 350 questions in 45 minutes time. Now, look at these questions, you will know what people are thinking and feeling. The second series that we did was what we call the antivirus. And I presented that to let our employees know that, look, this is the test of trust. While we can keep talking about trust, crisis like this requires that we demonstrate trust on both sides. And I think I realized my role as a people officer to also help employees know that it's also important that they trust their leaders. It's not enough that only leaders trust employees. The employees should also trust leaders. So this Leadership Lantern series, I think, was a very focused, well-designed communication program, but with a very clear objective of not just creating awareness, but creating understanding in the organization. I think that was the first important initiative, and after which we launched a series of initiatives. And like I kept saying this internally also, social distancing does not have to create emotional distancing. So how do we stay together and how do we demonstrate that we are in it together, including, of course, later on the promotion program that we did, the bonus program that we did, all to show that we are in it together. While business is important, the culture is as important. So, so that's really how we started with some of these initiatives, Pravin.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. The Leadership Lantern is really fascinating. Our readers are, our participants are mentioning about you, these thoughts that you all are mentioning in the chat forum. Whenever you get time, please do look at them. My question to Vinod about the work from home model. Vinod works for a payment gateway organization, and most of his people are either fleet on street who need to be at the merchandise place or techies who need to be developing the new tools to while in the competitive space of the digital payment. So Vinod, my question to you is how it has emerged at your organization, and what are your thoughts on the BU head who are supposed to man a large section of employees at the shop floor? How the HRBP is working with the BU head in your organization, and when the employees are scattered at various places. Some employees have actually left the city wherein they are working, and they have gone to their town places and working from there. So how are you managing things now?
Yeah. So Pravin, actually, before I talk about specifically about my company FSS, but it's kind of across diverse group of industries. Call it technology, telecommunications, consumers,
Yeah.
or kind of either opted for a fully remote or a partially remote, or kind of a permanent shift to remote work. Actually, to some extent or not. And in fact, interestingly, I just read a Facebook post recently for a job advertisement called Director of Remote Work, actually. So that's interesting, actually. One remarkable aspect of this period has been how remote work has enhanced the collaboration. As I actually talked in my intro, work from is no longer a theoretical model, but a very kind of a living reality. So the reality is,
it's a proven model now.
Yeah. So the reality is HR, which stands for, I'm not talking about my department HR, but it's a hybrid ratio of HR. So if the question is, what is your hybrid ratio? What percentage of workforce are working away from office? So it is the HR who is calling the shots now, and he has to be a transformative partner for the business leaders. So we switched to work from home from at least a week ahead of the lockdown announced by the Prime Minister. So many of our employees are, most of them have switched to remote places, and all of them have, kind of vacated their places in Chennai. But one of the things which we put in place is the complete infrastructure just within, because nobody anticipated this kind of a pandemic, that to have 2,500 or 3,000 laptops to be provided and
be provided.
And it was also a problem, actually, to get to source those kind of
procuring. Yeah, it was a problem.
It was a big problem. So I had actually written an article that almost 5 years back, that CIO and CHRO has to work together in an IT. So that's the essence, actually. And I think it proved handy that today we could get these numbers: who has laptop, who doesn't have laptop, who can afford, who can have a secured infrastructure and kind of thing. So I think all of these things we put in place in just 3 weeks time, and we had most of them been connected in various platforms, use video conferencing or meeting, putting a face with the import, and then Zoom calls and things like that. And on a productivity measurement, every department, because we are kind of a product company, so everything is measured on Jira and Confluence. So I didn't opt for basically a typical productivity measurement platform or a tool per se, because when you work from home, it gives a sense of are we monitoring? You don't have a trust quotient. Those kind of questions come up. So we just monitored as usual, as in any kind of a situation, normal situation. It's just productivity is monitored only on Jira and Confluence. But I keep hearing people saying that they are giving their best, actually, and that can be seen in the Q2 of our earnings also, which is much better than Q1, actually. And we connected with all the employees, 2,500 employees, at least 3 times in the last 9 months. We connected one-on-one calls, which essentially means almost 8,000 calls, actually. We had conducted close to more than 20 town halls in the last 9 months.
So is it HR calling these employees?
Calling on employees.
Oh, that's great.
And then in April, May, if you start out the COVID time in April, May, all of us as a country, doctors, including doctors, we didn't know how to handle the COVID patients. Today it is quite common, actually. So we don't have that kind of a fear. So we had some close to 10 or 12 in the month of April or May. So we ensured that we call all of these guys, because imagine a situation, a guy who's sitting in the hospital 14 days quarantine with no access to any outside world. So we call them in the morning, afternoon, night. So all of them, 14 days, 2 times, 3 times, all the patients were called actually. And then and we also did every decision, policy decision, or whatever we do. I think we have built a good digital platform within HR, even pre-COVID times. So we collected feedback for every decision, whatever decision we took, in terms of whether it is partial come to work, or be a performance dialogue, or put a work from home policy. But all of these things we took a feedback from employees, and as Vish was telling, so the trust factor, enhanced radically actually. So that helped in terms of making sure that we work on a collaborative way. And typically, I'm taking cues from Vish actually, the similar kind of a leadership we ran across the company. Because what is very important in this kind of a situation is, people don't work silos as my department, HR or marketing or finance, but I think what we put across is kind of an interdisciplinary thinking workshop actually. So how do you work in a matrix kind of an environment? So that workshop was an eye opener, and a lot of things. We work. Much. In a normal situation, it's very difficult to work with some difficult people actually, and we realized that in a pandemic kind of situation, technology makes it much easier to work with more difficult people actually. So that's the reality.
Indeed. I think two competencies or other factors emerged out of this discussion. One is communication, not only with the employees, but also to the senior management and within the management, and the trust factor that both channels have with each other, the HR having with the employees, and the management having with HR, and that is something which is making us sail through this particular scenario that we are going through. Coming to Sujay, I read some of your articles, and you are a big supporter of reskilling. What do you foresee as the emerging skill sets, technologies, business models for the future? I wanted to ask for next 5-10 years, but IT being a space, as you all mentioned in our earlier call, let's stick to what could be the changing scenario in next 1 year itself. So would you like to throw a light on this?
Yeah, sure. In fact, you did mention 10 years, and I really don't know where we will be in 10 years. But it's actually very difficult to talk about even what is going to happen next year, because technologies they change so fast, and our ability to quickly adapt is also going to be will really test us. So yes, there's definitely going to be an impact on the way we will look at skills. And as I told earlier, it is not just because of COVID. It's because the way the disruption had already started happening in our industry. When I'm saying our industry, with our customers, right? All our customers, their businesses were getting disrupted. What they're looking for from us is that, it's no longer just one specialization in one skill, but they're really looking at multi-skills. They're looking at full stack. And we will have to have a structure to prepare our organization towards that. Right. So what we have done in that area, and then again the COVID situation also gave us this opportunity to engage with our customers. So we were able to engage with our customers in looking at what is their landscape, and then what are their plans for next couple of years, and what are the skills that they are looking for. Right, and then bring it back into our employees. So what we have done is, with our what we have is it's known as an X.0 platform of capability building. We actually make all these skills very transparent, which means that we tell employees that you are in this skill. This skill is either going to sunset, or this is a core set of skills, and these are some of the skills which we want to invest as an organization. It becomes very open for the employee to choose. And we said that every employee in the company will have to have 2 sets of skills. That is kind of a mandate that we have. We started it last couple of years back. So you have your skill and you choose this skill. Obviously, if the skill which is going to sunset, they will not choose that, but they can choose. So we gave that, that flexibility to the employees, and we said that you choose, you learn, we will provide you with all the infrastructure that you can get, and we will assess you based on your proficiency. We'll again put you into any role that you want. So that's the way, we are driving this, and more now, because we suddenly found that large number of people, as Sowmya was saying, right, large number of people came suddenly into the bench because of the situation with our customers. Yeah. So again, like Vish said, right, crisis gives us an opportunity. So never waste a crisis, as Winston Churchill said, right? We said that, yes, this is that. So it again brought in a lot of push towards reskilling. And we said that, hey, people on the bench, we launched something which is known as skill to build. We said, these are the set of demands that we have. Ready to take on more learning. We were able to reskill people, and we were able to deploy them on projects. So that really helped us in managing a lot of our bench in that way. So yes, this I have seen a lot of opportunities in this crisis where we were able to push things like even employee engagement. I think we are doing more employee engagement than ever, right? More town halls, more one-on-one, more leadership, talk with our employees. I think it's a fabulous, of course, the situation is crisis, but and this crisis has given us a lot of opportunity to drive.
Taking a thread from employee engagement activities, I would like to ask Vish, all of our engagement activities, most of them used to be in person at the workplace, now has shifted to the electronic medium. And not only electronic medium, but you are also engaging employees through social media medium platforms. So in which case, we always wanted to have, to be rated as a great place to work, the best employer award that we always used to vie for. How an organization can build from here on, wherein most of the activities maybe will be shifting to not in person, but in the electronic medium. And how do you foresee the manager, senior management meeting the lower rung employees and taking the engagement in a different manner altogether? What are your thoughts?
This is such a well thought out question, Pravin, and very interesting question, because when we started, I must confess, I was not so sure. I was told that our Yammer page at Hexaware was like dead 3-4 years back, except for some little activity here and there. And today, if I see my Yammer page, or anybody sees Yammer page, they will be so pleasantly surprised.
It is yamming.
And people adapt so quickly. I think sometimes we underestimate people's potential to adapt. All that we had to do, like they say that world is about 3 things, right? It's about economics, it is about psychology, and it is about design. So Vinod is a design thinker, so he knows that you have to design it like that. Otherwise, it will not happen. So we had to do a little bit of a design thinking to see how do we activate our digital platforms that already existed. Of course, we added some so that people found a common place to interact.
Okay.
But there were 2 more, I think, when I look back, now that you're asking me, 2 more very important elements of the success that we experienced in getting our virtual engagement going. One is creativity. I think old ways of working are not working. We all know that. Therefore, we had to do a little bit of creative thinking to see what will bring people online to interact, to share some serious stuff, some fun stuff, but all with an objective of getting and keeping people together. So, for example, we said one creative and very simple way is to engage their families. So a series of initiatives that we launched, and fortunately, they continue even today globally, not just locally or in India, is what we call our Fam Jam series. So it's a family jam that we do. Some interesting theme every week, every second week, where families get together. And people love to get together with their families and with their colleagues' families, and that keeps the energy going. That was one part of it. The second part was leadership's active involvement, not passive involvement, not lip service, but they being there with everybody else. I remember the first contest that we launched online, I wrote to my management team saying, can you all spare $50 every week, one person per week? And they all readily contributed. I said, please come and sponsor $50 worth a prize on different things. And that was not, I mean, of course, $50 is substantial money. I'm not underestimating that, but that gave them a chance to come in and be a part of the event. And then, you know, we had, and it was fun, but it was also with the objective of getting people to participate. And today, all that we have to do is to come up and launch these ideas. People are now contributing to these ideas, and our Yammer page is literally buzzing with activity, just like you're seeing a virtual campus buzzing. So like I said, two things are important. One, we start thinking a little creatively about it. And second is get the leaders involved, and they will make sure that everybody else is involved. So these are two things that when I look back are the important elements of virtual engagement as I see it.
Sowmya, at your workplace, you mentioned about CEOs meet in our earlier call. Would you like to share something about it?
Yeah, I think it's almost all covered. So it's like, I think, yes, the biggest thing that we have done, and I'll agree with what Vinod said, I think we've actually reached out to people more. So if someone had come and told me that, you know, it's sometime in Jan of this year that, you know, you'll have to manage your entire HR with your entire HR team working from home, I would have said it's impossible, because that's a myth, right? Even for a town hall, from one office, we would arrange buses for them to go to the other office because we'll all have to be under one roof. It was just a mind block that we had. So like recently we conducted we have our annual day, which we call Vivacity, which is like a big event, right? We do it at Sahara Star. It's like a mega. For the first time, we did our entire annual day online. We were obviously able to get in our Bangalore guys, Chennai guys, the guys from all over the world, right? US, Canada, which was never possible. And as Vish said, we had made this as a family event. We said that this is Vivacity, this is for the family. We marketed it as a family. We told them that you sit and watch Vivacity and take pictures with your family and send it and have contests. We got glowing feedback. We said that this was the best Vivacity ever. Or this was the best annual day ever. This was just awesome. So communication, as I said earlier also, is a bedrock for Citius Tech. We do communication like it's like no other business. So for us, communication is like a lifeline. So we say we had town halls once a year. Now town halls are a monthly affair. Every 2 months we've got something called Rizwan Connect, where the CEO himself comes and talks, shares every single financial number. So this is how we are doing. This is where there's nothing hidden. This is where we said, this is where we were doing bad. Now we are picking up. These are the new clients. These are the risks. So it's all in the open. There's a dialogue. There's a separate program with the leadership, again, as Vish was mentioning, where, keep them updated, because we believe if they understand it right, then they percolate the communication, right? So communication and the HR team, my God, everybody, all the panelists have said, right, has reached out to everybody at least 2-3 times. It's like, we've done a different way of reaching out. So it's not like, of course, empathy and ensuring, the employees are taken care of is the fundamental bedrock of it. But we have questions, like when we do our engagement calls, we have questions related to team. We have questions related to productivity. We have questions related to fatigue. So there's, different actions that we have taken for all these actions. And when we start making calls, we start asking these structured questions. So there is a trend that we say. So if this particular team, is more fatigued, guys, this team is having a lot of, power cuts and issues, and we need to take care. So the kind of value addition that the HR VP could bring back to the business was immense. And and speaking about the fun aspect of it, my God, I can go on and on. We've just launched a Radio City, our own radio channel, and it's where we invite employees and the employees' children come and showcase talent. It's like it's just amazing. So that's what I was just trying to say, that this one topic is so close to our heart. It's Citius.
Yeah.
We can probably talk for half a day, but there is this and much more that on the communication front that I think most of us do to engage with people and keep them at the heart of it.
Yeah, I think Radio City is a wonderful concept. Supriya keeps on sending her piano videos to us. And today she said she has a guitar classes. So I think that is something which is possibly giving some kind of purpose for life, wherein it's not only the work that they are supposed to work at a workplace, but there are other fun elements which are also attached to it.
True, Pravin. Yeah, so mornings they have a yoga Zumba class, and it's so cute to see a father-in-law, mother-in-law, and the employee and the kid do, and then they take a video of it and share. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. So it's nice. It's absolutely it's a community thing. It's just no more.
Do you consider HR Infotech Association as the family of Citius Tech?
Absolutely.
Please do invite us.
Most welcome. I tell Supriya to send out. It's really fun. It's really nice. And Supriya has ensured that the timing is kept at around 8:30 in the morning. So even the guys who wake up late make it a session. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Coming to the challenges on the talent attraction per se, my question is to Sujay. We have moved now, recruitment is almost happening through Zoom calls. We have video calling for level of interviews that we take. The joining also has moved to e-joining now. Post joining, the induction and the orientation of the organization is also moved to video calling now. And so many people in last 6 months have joined the organization. They have not seen the premises. They have not seen their own colleagues. They only know who are possibly their bosses and maybe their immediate colleagues. How do you see this particular scenario, if at all work from home, like TCS has announced 75% of their workforce will be now working from home only. So what could be the future scenario of the person who has joined an organization, worked for 2-3 years and not met his colleagues, not seen the organization premises at all? What could be the mental psychology of such employee, and what way possibly things will evolve?
Okay. Firstly, I don't believe, see, let's understand this, right? Today, we are in a crisis situation. We continue to be in a crisis situation, right? I think only a couple of days back is where government has said that, the permission has been given to work from home. Otherwise, every 2 months, we actually had to look for permission. Please remember, even our customers, right? At least for us, we had almost 99% of our customer contracts, which didn't have work from home. Of course, now the paradigm has shifted. We will look at flexi way of working, but I don't think we will continue to be in this crisis mode of working once the pandemic is over, right? So I don't see that situation happening because as HR, we know that, yes, while the work from home is convenient, there are a lot of positives, there are a lot of negatives as well, right? So even before the pandemic, there are many organizations who've been doing work from home for a long time. And I think, Atos, our parent organization, we've seen these policies for a long time. I think IBM, and there are a lot of research which talks about the disadvantage of work from home, right? Inability to innovate, a lot of things happen when teams collaborate, they come together. So a lot of these organizations are planning to actually look at a flexi model. So I think as we emerge out of this, we'll never go back to that world where everything was from office and we used to spend so much of time, resources to try to bring everyone to office. But we will have a flexi model, and then people connect is going to be important. So I don't think maybe there could be some advantage where we will have some very niche talent available somewhere else in India, where today we were not able to hire them because we want them to be in our cities. But that advantage will be there, that we can look at some of those people and say, okay, you work from there. But I don't see a scenario where they will never be able to come to offices. We'll have connects. We'll have a flexi model. And I think from an HR perspective, that's very important to have that connect. You cannot have 100% work from home ever.
Yeah. This is an open question to all of you. I am giving a problem statement to all four of you. And this is a very unique situation that most of the small and medium organization has got into now. See, pandemic hit our business, understandable. Some of the organization took extreme measures of slashing the salaries, reducing the manpower, again understandable. But then now when we are coming out of the pandemic, or rather trying to be out of the pandemic, some of the industry players, the large players, have announced bonuses, increments for their employees, and it's good for them. What could be our stand for our own organizations? And I am facing the challenge at my own organization also. How do we keep employees in check when their salaries are slashed, when their other peers, colleagues, friends from other organizations are going to get increment? It also leads to the higher attrition levels. It also is a challenge for attracting a talent, because somebody coming to my organization is inquiring with the existing resources, तुम्हारी salary reduce हुई है क्या, तो फिर मैं नहीं आऊँगा, and likewise. So in which case, how do you face such kind of challenges, and what could be your inputs to people like me who want to trade through this situation? You all can contribute to this, starting with Vish.
Yeah, so Pravin, incidentally, just before some of the biggies announced, we had already internally announced, okay?
Oh, is it?
At Hexaware.
It did not come in news.
Yes, we were actually contemplating whether we should do that or not. I know there was some internal dialogue, but honestly, I didn't really have the bandwidth to really take that forward. But I want to share with this forum the thought process, which I believe is a very important learning for all of us. And we also learned the hard way. Okay, I think while the crisis is an opportunity, it is also testing you on your courage. Yeah. Yeah. So like they say, sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow, and sometimes you just do what is the right thing to do. So I think Hexaware took the third route. While throughout the year we were evaluating, can we give increments? Do we have enough money? You know, where is the money that we are earning going?
Yeah.
And for a variety of business reasons, which are obvious, and I'm sure all of us understand, some part of what we were earning had to be shared back in form of, let us say, you know, keeping the customer's confidence and, you know, protecting the relationship, and it requires investment. So with all that, what we really did was three things. Okay, one, and I believe that for a size of Hexaware, all these three things are really a matter of courage. Okay, one is we said we will pay off anything that is due for the last year to employees. We actually exceeded by a margin our variable pay budget for last year, which we paid off this year.
Okay.
I'm convinced that, and even if I look at it objectively, I'm convinced that Hexaware was pretty generous in doing that. Okay? We said that this is your last year's performance. While of course some earnings accumulate this year, you know, we will pay that. And we went through the whole process of performance management. 97% employees completed their performance management on time this year.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Look at the need for employees, even in crisis, to get their feedback, to get what they deserve. So that really helped me. And therefore, we paid off the entire variable pay bonus plan that we have. Second, we did promotions and we communicated. I had a long email written to 12,000 Hexawarians saying that we're doing promotions because we believe that you deserve it, you have earned it. However, this is not be followed with increments because of the business situation. Okay, I did get some emails back, but I got more emails saying thank you than I got emails saying why are you not doing increments. Everybody understands this. Of course, there are some people who will kind of try and push back and get emotional about it. But many people wrote back to me saying, and first time I actually announced promotions globally by sending the list of all the promotees to 12,000 people. I said, everybody must know very transparently who's getting promoted, why are they getting promoted. So I wrote a long email saying, these were the common attributes that we looked at amongst the promotees. So that's the second thing we did. And the third thing we did was, we said, when we began in difficult times, we began with a principle that my CEO communicated to the entire company. And we said, principle is shared pain, shared gain. Yeah.
Okay.
And while last 9 months were painful, there are some good times coming, as Sujay also talked about it a while back. Good times are coming. We can see good times coming. And therefore, here is an advance commitment. We called it a performance bonus. Yes, each of them, those who are eligible have got a letter already saying that this is the lump sum that is coming to you. We are not doing increments, but we are seeing good times coming. And therefore, we budgeted for it. It was approved by the board. All that was done. And then we said, well, it may not be really very big or great, but we said shared pain. So some of you shared the pain. And now here are the gains that we want to share back with you. That was the communication. So I believe that it is not so much about numbers, Pravin. It is about why you do what you do, and are you able to communicate that in a transparent manner. So it is about, it's not about how much you pay, but it is about why are you paying. That
the intent.
Absolutely. The intent has to be communicated. And of course, push back people who only talk numbers at this time, because nobody has control over numbers this time. Right? That was the philosophy that we took, and I communicated that. I transparently shared with all the leaders what were the criteria we used. I did a webinar for 4,500 people explaining to them how we have done the calculations, and each of them have a letter in their inbox today saying this is the money that's coming to you, and we gave them a date sometime in next year, early next year or mid next year, saying you are going to get this money. And most importantly, we also linked it with a business goal so that they know that this is not coming out of air. It is coming from some serious calculation on the business front. So that's really how we went about this entire exercise. So honestly, if you ask me, I don't care what other companies do or don't do. This is what was the right thing for us to do, given our unique circumstance. And this is how we were able to do it, and with speed, because it was easy to do also, but we said speed is important. So we executed it, gave them letters, got feedback. I'm still responding to some feedback, but that was the approach that we took. Yeah.
You managed to keep it secret also.
We have not really gone to that, but this forum can know it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Vinod, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so Pravin, on a similar, way what Vish was talking about, we also do the same way. The only difference is our, performance dialogue process is a bit different, because we don't do a annual promotion. We keep promotion always standing actually, because we don't wait for a year.
Vinod, we are not able to see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I think. Yeah, you're fine now?
Yeah.
I said, our performance dialogue process is different. Our promotion is different. Our increment is different, all in different time scales actually. Because we have more of a monthly check-in kind of a system, typically. Okay, so, yearly there is a calibration, but as Vish was saying, for us also, in April when the lockdown happened in March, so almost 99% of our employees completed the monthly check-ins and the annual appraisal system, and we gave the entire performance incentive or performance bonus for last year. Similar like what he was saying, we never held back even a single payment. We also, in fact, it exceeded, as he was saying. For us also, it exceeded more than 100% because we performed last year. And on the salary cut, yes, you are right. There are deep pockets for bigger companies. Companies like us, yes, cash is the king in times of crisis actually. So we did a bit of a salary cut in April after paying the performance incentive for the last year. And we said last year, we will clear everything. And then we did a pay cut in April. But that also applied out of 2,500 people. 1,900 people never got affected. Only the 600.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, 600 people, which is our managerial and above. And we communicated, even for managers, which is 600 people, we had almost 20, roadshows and town halls, and including the CEO and MD coming and speaking about the need for this. Actually. And all of us were in the same boat, actually. And all of us were actually, surprisingly, people were asking, I think you have taken a good decision. And we were wondering why we are not having this. There are questions like that. I'm not saying for the sake of it, but really this is a kind of having said that, we have passed now 6 months and 8 months. So our performance incentive is twice a year. H1, and having done the salary cut for 600 people, but still we thought we are not at the end of H1. It's not that we have achieved our numbers, but we decided that we will pay the full 100% irrespective of the performance actually. So this year, for April to September, we paid the full bonus because each company is different. Some companies have salary, some companies don't pay variable pay. But we paid last year's bonus also and this year's also first half year, irrespective of the numbers we because we thought that it is a good motivation for people to get the money. So that's what we did it. So, but on a common thread, I wanted to talk about, look at who, you will have to also look at from a CEO perspective, who runs the business. No one wants to slash salaries.
Yeah.
Okay? No one want to lose their best folks and then keep waiting for days and days.
Right. Both got merged last year, and now this pandemic. How is the situation that you are in? Anything that you?
I think to answer the question, the earlier question, it will all depend on from company to company. So obviously the situation in business is still tight. So the decisions on increments and bonuses will be based on it will be a business decision, right? Based on how much you will be able to. But the whole thing is to to give us the stable environment for the organization. So not yet taken decisions on increment. It all depends on how business scenarios emerge in the next year. But like Vinod and Vish said that we continue to look at promotions because that we still have to maintain our business. So we are focusing on development of skills, people who qualify for higher skills, higher role. We allow them to get promoted. Obviously, the increment will follow. So that's the way we are managing. So I think it's every month we look at how we want to handle this. So just I mean it's good. I think from an industry perspective, we've seen some of our peers giving increments. I think it's a good sign. But I have not yet seen any impact on attrition because I think they also have, most of us have large bench, we all know, which is still unutilized. Typically we carry 20% plus benches, right? So I think we'll utilize those first. We'll look at maybe campus hires. I think we have given, industry has given more than 70,000-80,000 offers. They still have to onboard those people, right? Or 2020 pass out. I think organizations will focus more on those. And obviously, there's always movement of what I call as a circular, attrition. You lose one person, so you hire one. It's really, so that's going to happen in our industry. And I think that is in our business model that, the 15-20% attrition will always happen, right? So I think we need to manage that.
Indeed.
So beyond that, I think increment and all will there's not a single formula for this. Every company will decide based on where they are.
Thank you. Sowmya, you mentioned about initial challenges and now this organization is selling through. the various initiatives that you have taken. Any monetary initiative that you had to take, or if you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything that Vish told, I think I can say ditto, because we in April and May we actually released our variable pay that was due for last year. We went ahead and completed our appraisals and gave away, promotions. There was no increments. The only difference is that because we were going through so much of a challenge, we held back 10% of the compensation. But the communication was so strong that we said, please do not look at this as a pay cut. Please look at it as a deferred pay. Right? We are holding it back. The intent is to pay. And communication, that's what I was trying to say. We share the numbers. If we achieve these numbers, the intent is to pay. So every RK Connect that we used to have, we used to show those numbers and say how we are doing. And this month we actually paid out that entire variable pay, which we had held deferred pay. We went ahead and told people, usually our appraisal cycle is in April, but the letter rollout happens in July. We already sent out a communication that we are going to roll out the increments for next year in April itself. We went ahead and we announced that, okay, there is leave encashment. People have not been able to take leave. We will give you at a double of whatever we used to do in the past. These are the little things that we have. And also we had said that the 10% variable pay that which was a deferred pay. And we said if our numbers are met and we make profit, if it's a little bit above that, we will distribute that as a bonus. And that's been the case with Citius Tech, and we are going to be distributing that across the company, to every single person, whether it is a trainee engineer or it is a senior VP. Everybody will get a portion, a part of that amount. That's because that's in discussion for now. I don't think so. Most of knows also. It's not been announced, but yes, it's going to happen.
That's great.
Yeah. Pravin, just to on the same lines what Sowmya talked. Interestingly, when you say deferred pay, for us also the same way. From a regulatory perspective, also in Middle East, actually, I will have to get acceptance from the employees and file in the Ministry of Human Resources. So that this is a deferred for temporary deferred pay actually. So I have put only as March 21, and that becomes so the letter format has to be same for across the company for me. So I cannot do only for Middle East and then do it. So that's how we call it as a temporary deferred pay.
Okay, that's great. I have more questions, but owing to the time constraints, I am not going to take more questions. There are certain questions which are from the participants in the chat window. Again, I mean, we are nearing to 6:15. I have one last session, which is a rapid fire session, which I have to take. So my apologies to those who have raised questions in the chat window. We will see to it that those questions been addressed by the relevant panelist. Rapid fire is a round where you have to reply instantly, and we get to know your likings, dislikings, personality traits as such. Starting with Vish, you have to choose either of the option which I will ask you. Vish, music or dance?
Music.
That's great. I was expecting that. Kishore Kumar or Mohammad Rafi?
Mohammad Rafi.
Mohammad Rafi, that's great. Sweet tooth or tikha chaat?
Tikha chaat.
Tikha chaat. Sweet tooth nahi hai.
Hyderabad.
Okay. Reading or traveling?
Traveling.
Traveling. Okay. You recognize the work, hard work instantly, or you give best appraisal for the recognized work at the end of the year? Instant. Okay, that's great. L&D or employee engagement?
L&D.
L&D. Okay. Poems or novels?
Poems.
Got to know that you write poems.
I do.
That's great. Keep sharing. Thank you, Vish. That was your rapid round. Coming to Sowmya.
Yes.
Sowmya, South India or North India, best place to travel in India?
South India, because that's home for me.
That's home for you. You are a Kurgi. You're from Kurgi.
Yes.
Okay. In sweet, Paputtu or Cheroti?
Chiroti.
Cheroti. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
So you are a foodie or traveler?
Foodie, total foodie.
Total foodie. Okay. Reading books or listening to books?
Only listen. I don't know how you know this, but I only listen to books.
Oh, audiobooks.
Audiobooks. I complete books like crazy, but I just listen to them when I do my work. Yeah.
Okay. Employee engagement or T&D?
It's employee engagement.
Employee engagement. That's great. Thank you,
Thank you.
Sowmya. Thank you. Coming to Sujay. Sujay, Mammootty or Mohanlal?
Mohanlal.
Mohanlal. Okay. Puttu or Appam?
Appam.
Appam.
Why are you asking me Malayalam? Because
No.
I am not.
No. Long drive or head to drive?
Long drive.
Long drive. Reskilling or reinventing?
Reinventing.
Reinventing. HR ops or comp and ben?
Comp and ben.
And the last one, painting or sketching?
Painting.
But we got to see your sketches also. Charcoal sketches. Thank you, Sujay. I'll tell you why I asked for a specific demographic questions. Now coming to Vinod. Writer or orator?
But you should have asked all the questions what Sujay you asked today.
Yeah.
Also the same.
Vinod now. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me.
Writer or orator?
Writer.
I have read some of your articles. Silicon India, People Matters. Early riser or late to bed?
Absolutely early riser.
Early riser. Vinod gets up at 4:30 in the morning. Listening to music or playing or any art or fitness or something of that. Playing instruments. Okay. Traveling or reading? Reading. Fitness or meditation?
Fitness.
You are a fitness freak. Talent management or talent attraction? Talent management. Thank you, Vinod. The reason I mentioned I asked about specific demographic because we have today people from AP or somebody who is from AP, Vishwanath Joshi. I was under the impression he is from Maharashtra. Sowmya from Karnataka, Sujay from Kerala, and Vinod from Tamil Nadu.
Okay, correction.
So all adjoining states to Maharashtra.
I am from Karnataka, not from...
You're from Karnataka. Oh, okay.
I'm from Mangalore. So.
Oh, you're from Mangalore.
That's why when you talked about those things, I got confused.
Yeah. It was a pleasure to have you in the forum. Thank you for graciously accepting our invitation. Your thoughts were really, reigniting to our audiences. Some of the concepts that you mentioned, 3E's, CAT, communication, trust, were really eye-openers. It was a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to have you all again in this session. HRIA Infotech Association is truly, thankful to you. Keep your support on for HRIA Infotech Association. The association is only for the IT and ITS sector companies, and we look forward to have you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pravin.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we are on time. It's 6:15, 6:18 now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.